Air Zimbabwe Kariba International Tiger Fish Tournament 1999. Africa, Zimbabwe, a land of extremes, a land where the mighty Zambezi River tumbles over the Victoria Falls and is dammed lower downstream, forming the magnificent Lake Kariba, a land of beauty. One of the world's most popular adventure sports destinations with some of the finest whitewater rafting to be had. And one of the highest fixed bungee jumps in the world. A land that has produced many world names in sport. Golfers Nick Price and Mark McNulty. Tennis duo Byron and Wayne Black. A cricket team featuring the well-known Flower Brothers. All grew up in Zimbabwe. Of great interest to sporting fishermen from around the world are the incredible angling opportunities available. Trout in the rivers, streams and dams of the scenic eastern districts. The bream species, local and exotic, that abound in dams and rivers. And bass, introduced from America nearly 70 years ago. But none to whet the appetite of the fishermen as much as the big daddy of freshwater game fish, the mighty tiger. Although tiger fish are found throughout the region, it is Lake Kariba on the Zambezi River which has laid claim to the biggest and best-known tiger fishing competition, the Kariba International Tiger Fish Tournament.
And there are now 9 nations again this year. We have the United States, Britain, South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, of course, Malawi, Botswana, United Arab Emirates. It has become now the biggest 4-man tournament in the world.
I think the Kariba International Tiger Tournament is probably one of the most diverse tournaments.
Our passion is what takes us to this lake, to this competition.
To win a big competition like this, it'll give us all personal satisfaction and, make us all feel as though we have accomplished something.
Now, this is a great competition because it does bring together a huge crowd of people, serious and not so serious anglers. The not so serious anglers here to see the serious perform and catch the big fish and all the rest of it. And it's wonderful for us, the more serious anglers, to have that huge contingent of people here that make this such a big and exciting competition.
Your low-level type fishermen that are here for the social event pretty much as it is to catch fish.
We come here for the fishing and to have a good time.
Well, we've been married now for a week and we thought we'd come up to Tiger Tournament, start our lives off fishing Tiger Tournament.
I'm feeling lucky. I'm feeling very, very lucky and thirsty.
Our strategy is to go out, catch the 10-kilo fish early on, win the truck, and then, drink beer and have a good time.
In Zimbabwe, catching fish and drinking beer are almost synonymous. Some teams take neither the fishing nor the drinking seriously.
We're going to go out there anyway, and we just fish. We don't really prepare for it at all.
Other teams boast a determined effort.
No, there is a bit of enjoyment, but it's a lot of, we're working hard. We're not going to play too much. We're working hard.
But this particular tournament has got such historical connotations with the country, with the culture, with its people.
The Kariba International Tiger Fish Tournament started 38 years ago when a group of farmers, having some free time between cropping programs, decided to stage a small tiger tournament. And from there, it simply grew and grew.
Well, I actually fished the tournament for 36 years. You could put any bait you liked into that water and you would catch a tiger. And it's the same, as I told you. People were using lizards. Kapenta in those days were only, an inch long.
Kapenta has become one of the tiger fish's main food sources, and this has greatly influenced the fishermen's approach to catching this game fish. When it comes to methods of fishing, 2 styles dominate. The first is doba doba, meaning literally pick up in Zimbabwe's main vernacular language, Shona.
Doba doba fishing is basically just dropping your kapenta straight over the side of the boat. It works particularly well when the weather's a bit rough and your boat's going up and down. You can imagine dropping it straight down. You hit the bottom and maybe reel it up 2 or 3 turns. So when it's a bit rougher than this, today's a bit calm, the boat's going up and down. As the boat's going up and down, so your kapenta's going up and down.
Many of the Doba Doba teams arrive prior to the tournament to pre-bait their selected areas with kapenta.
Now, because it's so windy today, and we're sitting in 33 foot of water, if we merely threw this bait over the side, it would actually disappear probably a kilometer away. So we have a little device here called a dispenser. This bucket of kapenta will now be lowered over the side. I will pull on this rope and it will release this bait.
Another method of pre-baiting is to throw the kapenta onto the surface of the water, known as chumming.
We've got 16 spots this year. So all we want is to pull maybe 10 fish out of each spot and we'll be happy. It can go way over, you end up fishing one spot in a day if it goes all day.
Prior to the tournament, the Doba Doba teams fish on their pre-baited spots to check on the size of tiger in that area.
Tend to get a kapenta, put it through below the gills, out, slide it up to as far as where it's the bait holders hold, put it through, push it to there. That is one. We continue with another one through the eye, and then the last one up through behind the head, and that's what we hope to catch the fish on. Well, that didn't take long. Lucky, there we go, and that had only just hit the water, so that fish had taken on the way down. Yeah, it feels not too bad. It's coming along the side here. As we get it closer to the boat and get it under control, I like to release the drag a little bit because most of these fish are skin hooked, because they've got a very, very strong mouth, bony mouth, but they've got a fine layer of skin underneath it. So I'll just release the drag a little bit.
It's a good fish of about 7 or 8 pounds. However, when these fish get close to the side of the boat, they normally thrash around quite a lot. One needs to keep the net well out of the water and out of the way until the fish is actually ready for landing and literally lying on its side, tired out, played out.
Teams also check their spots for the type of tiger that they have attracted.
You notice in the Doba Doba fish have a very small head, very small needle, toothpick-like teeth, which is utilized for eating kapenta. It seems to have adapted and evolved, whereas the tigerfish you catch spinning and trawling have a much larger head, have much redder tips to their tails. Their body is generally a lot yellower. Their teeth a lot bigger and mouth a lot larger. Often also you'll find their tail is a lot more elongated. They're basically what they call them is your river fish.
See how lightly hooked that was.
That's very lightly hooked. That's very, very hard. You can see it's very, very hard. These teeth are razor sharp and they've got an anticoagulant on them.
See how they actually interlock.
And they interlock.
You wouldn't want to lip these.
You can't
like
lip these. I'd like to put her back in the water because we hope to catch her in the tournament, but that's a nice fish. There she goes.
Some of the teams go to great lengths to sort out their fishing spots, diving to check the bottom for rocks, sand or mud. Others resort to modern technology, using fish and depth finders and GPSs.
We're on top of a riverbed at the moment, and if you watch carefully, you'll see how the riverbed sharply rises up. This is the type of feature we'll look for, where the riverbed actually climbs up onto a plateau, and we'll pull the fish that will normally shoal on the side onto the plateau and fish it from there.
There are those, of course, who rely purely on instinct. The second method of fishing, and probably not the most popular, is spinning. This involves a lot of hard work, determination and stamina, as the angler stands for the duration of the tournament, casting and retrieving his bait.
Ideally, the water temperature would be around about 78, 79. The wind, as it is at the moment, we've got a gentle breeze which is pushing our boat along. Ideally, we want to keep moving all day long at a gentle pace. Very rough water is detrimental to our method of fishing. We find that we're rocking too much, pretty uncomfortable fishing in that manner.
Whereas dobber fishermen use kapenta as bait, the majority of the spinners tend to use fillets cut from small tiger fish. Last year's winning captain, Danny Swart.
The spinners are the standard ones we've been using for the last 26 years now. Plain old willow leaf spinner. And we've put a nice big hook on there, number 80. We find that these, we lose less fish from them. When we bait up, we would put the hook in from the meat side first, going through. You pull it through the eye through the fillet. You get your match. You would slide your match in through the eye of the steel wire. You then pull your fillet down to your steel wire, to your match, sorry. Extend it a little bit, see where the bend of the hook is. Hook it through again, and there you are. We're ready for some action, hopefully.
Spinners or dobbers, it's very, very difficult to say who is actually going to do it, but it's going to be an exciting finish.
The only thing about spinning and trawling is it can be very unpredictable. It can be good and it can be a disaster. Dobber guarantees you your quality fish, which so the combination of the two, I think, is the way to go.
As the start of the 3-day competition nears, preparations become more intense. Depending, of course, on your approach. Day 1. With over 222 teams of 4 in some 430 boats, this competition requires a great deal of organization and monitoring. Each boat is issued with an identification tag, which has to be handed in each morning. This is a busy time, while some teams also collect fresh bait from the designated kapenta fishing rigs. A flare is fired, signaling the start of the race to the competitors' chosen fishing areas.
All the boats race off to their selected spots, and if by chance somebody is there before him, well, it's bad luck.
Once the fishermen are settled in, the real action begins. The famous grouse team started landing tiger almost immediately. While this team seems more interested in the inner man than fishing.
We've been fishing for 3 hours now and we've caught nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Also not having much early success were the spinners. This dobber team, Umi A. Silstar, using fairly heavy tackle, was kept very busy.
This is one of the smaller fish that we've been catching. We put these little ones in the cooler box there. Nice sized fish, very exciting to catch.
But not all the teams had the luck that Umi A. Silstar seemed to experience.
I haven't had a bite this morning, yet, but it's only 10:05.
You'll notice around these few boats here that we don't chum a lot. We don't put a lot of fish on the surface when we're fishing. With the assumption that you've already chummed, so the fish are there. All you need to do is now catch them, not have them eating your chum. And as the chum drifts off, your spinners spend a lot of time spinning in the chum that you've thrown off, that's drifted off with the wind and the current. And your fish move off with that, so you lose your shoal.
Too much pre-baiting can result in unwanted species like barbel being attracted and becoming a tedious nuisance.
Oh, no, not another barbel. 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 Oh, no, not another barbel fish.
Another pest in overbaited areas is the squeaker. It's teams like these that seem to welcome most the 4:30 deadline at the Way Bay.
Fishing was tough today. And well, the guys that did good did well, but we bombed out properly.
Well, we had a fantastic day. We got, I think we got eight fish over 3 kgs, the rest about 2,5. The points we got today would have won the tournament last year, put us in the lead. But we got a bit of a surprise when it came to Way Bay. There are a lot of fish, bonus fish.
You catch a 5 kg fish, you get double points scored. It's a great encouragement to the smaller teams. The bigger teams find it a bit of a hindrance, but it's a great encouragement to that person who's caught 1 fish at 5 kgs, moves from 150th place to 50th place.
Spinning's not working so well at the moment. It seems like the fish have gone down to the bottom, and the guys with the cappies seem to be picking up a lot more at the moment.
So, no, we had a great day. Fish are there, working well, spots are working well. I haven't fished very many of them, so there's still the depth.
The fish, we caught the quantity, but not the quality. All our fish were small.
Our day went very well today. Very, very happy with the catch today. Quite impressed.
The Way Bay is the first opportunity for spectators to witness the success of the top order. And with the first day behind them, a lot of the teams feel they can relax and spend a little more time in the pub. Not forgetting, it's an early start in the morning as day 2 of the tournament gets underway. By now, the results from the previous day are out, and everybody is watching Umi A. Silstar, whose incredible catch included 6 bonus fish, giving them a confident lead. Andy Edmondson of ULTC Predators, fishing on 4-pound line, seemed to be enjoying himself thoroughly. Ian Harris of ULTC Captain Morgan knew that his only chance to move up from lying second was to catch some fish of over 5 kilograms for those bonus points.
But we really need to average 3 kgs to be in with a chance in this tournament, with a number of bonus fish in amongst them. You know, the guys who are leading at the moment had 6 bonus fish yesterday. We only had 1, so we're 5 bonus fish basically behind them.
Fishing over 60 kilometers away from the start line, near an island known as Starvation, the team Kaz Madison Pioneer had both their boats working hard.
But we've got no bonus though. That's our problem.
The top teams make tiger fishing look easy, but a small number of fishermen do not catch a single fish.
It just keeps running.
They look for other ways to entertain themselves before rushing back to the Way Bay and the bar.
This morning, I baited my rod. Woke up this morning, I baited my rod. Stuck it in the water, yeah, I stuck it in the lake, yeah. But baby, you better believe me, there ain't no fish in this lake.
The lead that Umie Silstar created was not easy to close in on, but an unexpected outsider team, Chando Doro B, have been working tirelessly, and it pays off.
1,185.
And for those that didn't catch, there's always some way of getting their spirits up again. Strong winds and rough waters welcomed the fishermen on the final day of the tournament and made it almost impossible to capture on video. Despite the rough weather, the top order maintained their enthusiasm and proved that there was still more tiger to come out of the lake.
It was very difficult to anchor. We couldn't hold. We were on gravel over there.
Nobody seemed prepared to give up the chase, although for some teams it was easier to find quieter waters behind islands to try their luck there. Chando Doro B, jumping from 11th place on day 1 to 2nd position on day 2, desperately needed bonus fish to top Umie Silstar, who still led the tournament. But by far, the most exciting event of the day was the weighing in of the biggest fish caught. This was also a time of realization for those teams that did not achieve all that they had set out to do.
We've had a rough tournament. Weather-wise, it was a lot more difficult than last year. With all the wind blowing, we just couldn't get the fish on the bite.
And an opportunity for everyone to be entertained at the prize-giving ceremony. This member of the Schweppes Cardinals team demonstrates what it's like to get to your fishing spot amongst all the other boats. It's no wonder that the most entertaining team prize went to Schweppes Cardinals. Shirley Schultz of Kariba Supermods won the ladies' trophy for the biggest fish. Darren Brain of Kariba Angling Society Tiger Tech seemed pleased with his biggest fish prize for his catch, which was a mere 1 kilogram short of scooping the prize of a Nissan hardbody. But he still won a boat and motor. The biggest catch by an individual went to Andy Edmondson, with a total weight of 79 kilograms of tiger fish caught. The Air Zimbabwe Kariba International Tiger Fish Tournament 1999 saw 2 records being broken. That was the most fish ever caught at a tournament, with a staggering amount of 3,213 fish, and also the biggest weight of fish caught in 38 years. A total mass of 6,495,68 kilograms. Overall, a very successful year, but even more so for those teams that proved themselves to be the leaders. In 4th position was ULTC Famous Grouse. In 3rd position, Kaz Madison Pioneer, who shaved their heads due to the fact that they caught no bonus fish. In 2nd place, Chando Doro B. And taking away the honors in the Air Zimbabwe Kariba International Tiger Fish Tournament 1999 were Charlotte Ward, Rick Ward, Dave Ottman, and Ivan Wilson and their team Umie Silstar. Once again, the anglers were ready to party until the next tournament.
Why do you fish that way? You know it ain't right. Why do you act that way when your drag is too tight? You don't even know where you're chumming. All you know is how to start. You need a fishing rod and reel, put your bait on. You need a fishing rod and reel, put your trace on. You need a fishing rod and reel to put your hooks on. Poaching round from spot to spot, so baiting doesn't cost a lot. You haven't caught a single fish the whole day, yeah. You need a fishing rod and reel, yes you do, yeah. You need a fishing rod and reel. Tiger Tournament 1999. Thank you.